Welcome back to Inner Work. Today, we're talking about something that many men misunderstand. Some men believe that strength means figuring everything out by themselves. No help, no guidance, no questions, no mentors, just grit, determination, and trial by fire. And while determination matters, there is a problem with that mindset. Some lessons are too expensive to learn alone. Some mistakes cost years. Some decisions create consequences that follow a man long after the moment has passed. The truth is this: a wise man learns from his own mistakes. A wiser man learns from the mistakes of others. That's what mentorship really is. It's not dependence. It's not weakness. It's borrowed perspective. And perspective is one of the most valuable resources a man can possess. Many of us can remember a season when we were trying to navigate life without a map. Maybe it was your first job. Maybe it was marriage. Maybe it was fatherhood. Maybe it was leadership. Maybe it was simply trying to become the man you knew you were capable of becoming. You weren't lazy. You weren't incapable. You simply lacked guidance. There is a difference. And that's why today's inner work is centered on one powerful realization. You were never meant to figure it all out alone. Episode 10A, Borrowed Wisdom.
Why men resist guidance. Many men resist mentorship because they associate asking for help with weakness. But think about that for a moment. The world's greatest athletes have coaches. The most successful executives have advisors. Military leaders rely on experienced commanders. Even skilled craftsmen learn under masters before becoming masters themselves. Yet somehow, many men convince themselves they should navigate life entirely on their own. That's not strength, that's isolation, and isolation often disguises itself as independence. A man who refuses wisdom often pays tuition to experience, and experience is an expensive teacher. The cost of going alone. When a man rejects guidance, he often spends years discovering truths that someone else could have shared in a single conversation. He repeats avoidable mistakes. He struggles through unnecessary setbacks. He carries burdens that could have been lightened by insight. The issue isn't intelligence. The issue is perspective. You cannot see every blind spot from inside your own life. That's why mentors matter. They help you see what you cannot see. They recognize patterns you've never encountered. They identify dangers before you arrive at them. Not because they're better than you, because they've already traveled the road. The Inner Work Challenge. Today, I want to give you 3 practical actions. Not theories, not motivation, actions. Step 1. Step 1. Identify the gap. Ask yourself this question: what area of my life needs guidance right now? Be honest. Maybe it's finances. Maybe it's relationships. Maybe it's leadership. Maybe it's emotional discipline. Maybe it's your career. Stop trying to solve 10 problems. Identify 1. The man who knows where he needs help is already moving towards growth. Step 2. Find someone who has gone further. Look for someone who has achieved what you're trying to build. Not someone who talks about it, someone who lives it. Observe them. Learn from them. Ask thoughtful questions. Listen more than you speak. You don't need a celebrity. You don't need a perfect person. You need a person who is several steps ahead of you in an area where you want to grow. Step 3. Become teachable. This is where many men struggle. Receiving guidance requires humility, not blind obedience, not surrendering your identity, humility. The ability to hear something that challenges your current thinking, the ability to consider another perspective, the ability to admit that someone else's experience may contain wisdom you haven't earned yet. Growth begins where defensiveness ends. For the men who are already mentoring, I want to speak to you for a moment. Your investment matters. The conversations you think were forgotten may be remembered for decades. The encouragement you offered may arrive exactly when someone needed it. The example you set may become the standard another person follows for the rest of their life. Never underestimate the impact of consistency. Many people don't need perfection, they need presence. Keep showing up. Keep pouring into others. Keep sharing what life has taught you. You may never fully see the ripple effects, but they're there.
As we close today's episode, remember this. The strongest men are not the men who know everything. They're the men who remain teachable. They're the men willing to seek wisdom. They're the men willing to learn. And eventually, they're the men willing to pass that wisdom forward. Because every mature man eventually discovers the same truth. The life he's building today is influenced by people who invested in him yesterday. And one day, someone else's future may be shaped by the wisdom he chooses to share. This week's inner work is simple. Seek guidance where you need growth. Offer guidance where you have experience. And remember, no meaningful life is built entirely alone. Until next time, keep doing the work. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Peace.